This is futile. No matter how hard I try, I'm just gonna have to fess up to the fact that summer is over. I'd like to welcome you to Go. It's a reformat of our community magazine show. And for this inaugural episode, I thought we'd commemorate the kids who have to go back to school. So let's check out what they did this summer. Starting off with wind. Now, wind power is an alternative energy source, but what happens when you give children the power of wind? Well, as you're about to find out, it powers lots of fun and lots of good memories. During the summer, children got the chance to glide across our glossy waters to learn the ins and outs of sailing. Now, I know what you might be thinking, sailing in Willie's puddle? Well, if you put it to the context of those small, adorable little sailboats, it's actually more like a lake. A big, imposing lake.
The water can be scary, you know, you have to make them realize that it's only water, right? And I think slowly, it's taken about 3 days, but they've realized it's only water, and they've all fallen in once or twice, and they seem to like it. Oh, staring at the camera.
The classes were run by Sam and Sam, who work for BC Sailing. They tour across the province and show kids how to take advantage of wind power.
So the goal is that we go to these communities for a week at a time. We usually go 3 to 4 summers returning, and after that time we sort of teach the communities how to run their own sailing program.
Over the week, the kids learned lots and even had the opportunity to capsize their boats to get comfortable with the worst that could happen.
So we usually within the first couple of days, we try and get the kids out and sort of teach them how to flip the boat over, because starting off that's usually most children's biggest worry is flipping their boat. So once you get them to do it in sort of a controlled environment, then they're usually pretty okay with it.
Well, I learned all the different things that are like on the sail, and like how to actually steer it and shift it around and stuff.
Probably mainly the confidence building, but teamwork too, because it's 2 people in each boat. Oh, probably going fast on the sailboat. The tippy feeling you get.
The Sams meet many different groups of kids over the summer, and of course the group here is special, right?
They've been loving the capsizing the boats probably more than like tipping the boats over, more than most places we've been to, I think.
We're just kids saying funny stuff, basically. One kid, an older kid, told a girl that she had to stay here all month, and she took that completely seriously and thought we were keeping her here all month, and she broke down a little bit.
By the end of the week, the kids are comfortable enough to sail and have fun.
Every day they seem to like it more. Tentative first few days, and today no tears, which was great.
Actually going out and playing the games on the water when we sail. Well, we play like a ball tag and like some other really fun games.
Hey, sounds like a good time to me, except I don't fit in those sailboats. With Go Williams Lake, I'm Jonathan Horst. Summer is such an inspiring time. Actually, 2 high school students had the opportunity over the season to use their artistic skills and make the town a little bit more beautiful. Here, let me explain. This building site has been the unfortunate target for vandals and taggers, who thought this wall is a perfect spot to make their mark.
Well, dealing with a lot of different signs, which maybe I didn't exactly know what they were, but some of them were gang symbols apparently.
The quick solution would be to paint over it with some mismatched paint. But that's not what happened. In fact, it was a great amalgamation of opportunities, starting off with an idea between the Friendship Society and Dwayne Davis to mentor youth. However, they didn't quite know how that could happen until
Judy O'Neill, through the DIA, ended up getting a grant, and she didn't really know what to do. So she contacted me, and we kind of brainstormed. I said, well, maybe if we got a couple youth, I could mentor them.
The youth in question are Miranda Fontaine and Jamie Moore, and they have been spending the summer tirelessly working on 2 murals in town. And when I say tirelessly, I mean that they've been starting at 6 a.m. some days.
The hardest part is probably being able to paint for 12 hours a day. I have very low attention span and just making it look realistic.
At the beginning, it was like really scary, like afraid of messing up or whatnot and didn't want to do a bad job, but Dwayne was really good about reassuring you that it's just paint, we can paint over it.
Dwayne Davis is known around town for painting murals, and so he took these kids under his wing to cover unpleasantries with a large and beautiful scene like this.
So I'm making kind of a 1920s general store idea, and it'll have some of the stuff from back then in the painting. The merchandise and that in the windows, so people can kind of see a little bit of what they called their mall back then in the 1920s.
I thought it was going to be more of a Western storefront, so the first time I saw it, it was totally different, and I love it. Well, my favorite part of it right now, just because it's close to my heart, is the old man in the rocker with the dog next to him, because actually that's exactly how my grandfather used to sit in a chair. And I love the lady with her bustle over that.
I love color, so I'd like to say the flowers, but they've been really frustrating for Miranda and I.
I don't know, I just kind of like how it starts off with just sketches and lines on the wall, and then it just, bam, turns into this beautiful mural.
This experience has done more than just cover up graffiti. It's spawned friendships, decorated our town, and taught some great lessons.
Make sure you slide that up over.
With Go Williams Lake, I'm Jonathan Horst. After the break, we grapple with the fact that school is back in session and get some great back-to-school tips to help smoothen out the transition. See what I mean about summer ending? Now, we have a new segment called Parenting 101, and basically it gives parents some sound advice to help them with the tough job they have at hand. Now, back to school is quite the transition for most kids, going from sleeping in, playing video games, and hanging out with friends to waking up early, going to school, and doing homework. Gee, am I glad those days are over. Well, we have Trish Morey guest hosting this Parenting 101 segment, and she went out there to find some helpful tips to make that transition just a little bit smoother.
I just went back to school shopping, and it's not just paper and pens anymore. Now you have to think about shoes, clothes, they have to be in style, boxes of Kleenex. So what do?
Well, the list and expectations can definitely seem overwhelming, but as this local supply store owner recommends, you should buy quality over quantity.
Go on the light side when it comes to your school supply list. Don't worry if you don't have 18 duotangs. Just make sure that you're getting only what's needed and watching the budget that way.
Simple things like labeling clothing, because kids leave clothing at school, because I'm not a parent yet. I know that I would label everything my child brings to school.
Getting your kids geared up is great for enabling them to do their schoolwork, but what are some tips that can help them do that work better? Well, let's ask the people who teach them.
There is a consensus among teachers on 3 things that will help your child transition back to school. First of which is sleep, sleep, sleep.
Definitely getting kids on schedule so they have a good bedtime and are able to wake up in the mornings, especially in kindergarten. They're very tired during the day.
As our family heads transitions into the fall, we try now not to go cold turkey with changing times. We talked about last week in starting to transition and make bedtimes closer to the regular school bedtimes.
Keeping your child's energy level going throughout the day is equally important, and it can only be done by giving your child a proper lunch.
I can see energy levels drop, and I know it's because, they've had the Dora Explorer fruit snacks instead of like an apple. It's huge, like the sugars that the kids put into them, they just drop, like they're tired by the, you know, certain times in the day.
So fresh fruit is an easy one to always put fresh fruit in for snacks. To have carrot sticks, vegetables that can be cut up. The kids actually really like a lot of the time, and if they don't have all of those sweet snacks in their lunches, they're going to eat those.
Perhaps most importantly, teachers encourage you to get involved with your child's learning.
One thing that's fantastic to do, and teachers love this, is sometime in that first couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks of school, it's really helpful for parents and for teachers to take 2 minutes to pop into your child's classroom and meet your teacher face to face. It's really nice to have those first conversations when all is going smoothly.
I just think that parent involvement and communication in a school is so important. The parents should be more involved in their kids' education than the teacher is. People think that, oh, kids come to school to learn and you know, the teachers will teach them, but really it has to transfer over at home just as much as it does at school.
Put simply, it's about getting involved in your child's education needs, from getting school supplies to actively communicating with their teacher. They're going to need all the help they can get. With Go Williams Lake, I'm Trish Morey.
Thanks for watching this first episode of Go. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I really gotta get out of this rain, but if you have any story ideas, please hit me a line by email or Twitter or whatever. Take care.